You ever wonder if true, lasting happiness is something you can actually learn? Not something you just stumble upon, but a skill you can actually develop? Well, today we're diving into a book that says, yes, you absolutely can. We're going to explore how you can start training your own mind for a more joyful life, like right now.
Look, we all want to be happy. It's kind of the whole point, right? But so often, that deep, real feeling of joy, it feels like it's just out of reach. Almost like we're constantly chasing a moving target.
And that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? If we all want it so bad, why is it so slippery? Why is it so hard to hold on to? You know the feeling, you achieve a goal, you buy the new thing, you get the promotion, and it feels great. For a minute, and then it fades, and we're right back to searching for that next hit of happiness.
Well, the book suggests there's a really simple reason for this endless cycle. Most of the time, we're stuck in this trap of looking for joy on the outside, through stuff, achievements, what other people think of us, but that's a super fragile foundation for happiness. The alternative, and really the whole point of this book, is learning how to cultivate joy from the inside, building a solid base of awareness and peace that doesn't get shaken up by whatever's happening around you.
And this is where the joy of living comes in and really just flips the script. It offers a totally different way to think about this whole happiness thing.
So here's the big shift in thinking. What if happiness isn't a destination you have to reach, or some treasure you have to find? What if it's a skill, something you can actually practice and get better at, just like playing the guitar or learning a new language? That one simple idea changes everything.
And this quote from the author, Yongey Mingyur Rinpoche, just nails it. He tells us to think of our mind like a muscle. And it makes perfect sense, right? If you don't use a muscle, it gets weak and stiff. But with some consistent, gentle training, it gets stronger, more flexible, more resilient. Your mind is exactly the same way.
Now, what makes this book so incredible is how it connects these different worlds. It takes this ancient, timeless Buddhist wisdom and plugs it right into modern neuroscience, showing you how these practices literally change the physical structure of your brain. And on top of all that, it's grounded in the author's own really personal stories, including his own battles with pretty severe anxiety, which just makes the whole thing feel so human and so achievable.
Okay, so if the mind is trainable, how in the world do we actually train it? Like, what's the workout plan? Well, the book lays out a super clear, practical path that literally anyone can start. It all starts with one super simple practice, one single step that opens the door to everything else. And that very first step is just noticing your breath. That's it. Seriously, you don't have to change it or force it. Just feel the air coming in and the air going out. And here's the key. Your mind is gonna wander. That's what minds do. The actual practice isn't to stop it from wandering. It's just to gently, without any judgment, bring your attention back to the breath when you notice it's gone off. Even just 5 minutes a day is enough to get the ball rolling. So you start with that simple foundation of the breath, and then the practice starts to grow. You learn to see difficult emotions not as something to run from, but actually as opportunities to be aware. You start treating your mind like a muscle with that same consistency. And then you begin to weave things like compassion and gratitude right into the little moments of your day, which completely transforms how you experience your life.
Now here's where it gets really, really cool. This isn't just some psychological trick or wishful thinking. This stuff is physically changing your brain. Let's actually look at the science behind it.
The key word here is neuroplasticity. For a long time, scientists thought the adult brain was basically fixed, set in stone. But we now know that's totally wrong. Your brain is constantly changing, forming new connections and pathways based on what you think, feel, and do. It can literally be rewired.
So think about it like this. For many of us, our brains have these really well-worn paths for stress and anxiety. They're like super highways. Something tricky happens and bam, our thoughts automatically zip down those familiar reactive roads. It's just a habit, a default setting. But every single time you sit down and gently bring your attention back to your breath, you are carving out a new path. At first, it's just a tiny little footpath in the woods. But with repetition, that path gets wider. It becomes a road. And eventually, it becomes a brand new superhighway for calm, for focus, and for resilience. You are physically building a happier, more resilient brain.
So after all this training, where are we headed? What is the joy in the joy of living, really? And this leads us to what might be the book's most important insight of all.
And here it is. True joy is not about creating a life with no problems, no sadness, no stress. I mean, that's impossible. Instead, real joy is about changing your relationship with all of your experiences, the good, the bad, the boring, by meeting all of it with this open, curious awareness.
And this is the ultimate promise of the whole practice, that underneath all the chaos and noise of our thoughts and emotions, there is a natural state of calm and clarity. It's already there. Training the mind doesn't create this, it just clears away the clouds that are covering it up. That is the source of genuine, unshakable joy.
So that leaves us with one final question to take with you. You don't have to change your entire life tomorrow. Just start with one little thing. What is one small moment today, maybe it's the taste of your coffee, waiting in line at the store, feeling the wind on your face, that you can meet with just a little bit more awareness? Because that right there, that's where it all begins.